In February of 2020, Henrik Ora told News Atlas that the clean and absolutely safe reactors can be placed within densely populated areas with no possibility of a catastrophic meltdown such as that which has been seen within nuclear fission reactors. Today I'm going to inform you about nuclear fission and nuclear fusion so you can understand how the newer technology could impact our future. I'm going to talk to you about our past with nuclear fission, recent developments with nuclear fusion, and what the future holds if we can accomplish even more. First, I'm going to explain to you the past research and development behind nuclear fission. According to Science Daily, nuclear fission is used to generate energy in larger power plants and less commonly in the creation of military weapons such as atomic bombs. With that being said, nuclear fission can be very dangerous because it emits toxic radioactive waste into the air that we breathe. In an interview with Popular Mechanics, Henrik Ora states that while nuclear fusion and fission is useful and was especially when it was the only option, Australian scientists are revolving the idea of fusion to make it faster and safer. Nuclear fusion was invented in the mid-1950s. There were a lot of smaller experiments and breakthroughs through to the early 2000s. And in the early 2000s, China invented EAST, which is their artificial sun tokamak. And according to the Asia Times staff, this process is to be finished and the device is supposed to go live sometime this year. This and all other nuclear fusion experiments gave way to ITER, which is the largest nuclear fusion experiment in the world. It's comprised and sponsored by a bunch of different countries around the world, including the US, and they made their own tokamak. Now, even though it is still much safer than fission, fusion can still be dangerous, and Australian scientists have created a way to make it the safest it can be right now. The HB11 reactor will be the first to use laser technology to trigger a nuclear fusion reaction. As of recently, Henrik Ora claims that the HB11's energy's technology differs radically from all other fusion approaches as it does not require fuels to be heated. Other fusion approaches require temperatures of tens or hundreds of millions of degrees Celsius, a technical hurdle that has held all back from practical energy generation for decades. The website for the HB11 reactor states that the benefits are that the reactor will not melt down, it does not result in radioactive waste, the reaction is safe, the fuel used is abundant and safe, and it is carbon neutral. As for limitations, Sci-Fi reports that the HB11 approach isn't exactly precise, as they're not using the layers to heat the materials, but instead trying to speed up the hydrogen enough so that it collides with the boron and begins a reaction, and all that requires just a little bit of luck. Now for a look to our future, the only real limitation we see on the HB11 reactor is the luck factor with the lasers, and while there isn't really anyone challenging this new technology right now, HB11's managing director Warren McKenzie claims that their approach is more precise than radioactive fuel-powered fusion reactors, which just heats things up and hope for a similar collision with possible consequences in the process. Brian Wang, an expert in science, has substantial familiarity with breakthrough technologies such as nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. And through his own website, The Next Big Future, he writes about how academic sources explains the science behind the fusion and that it theoretically should work very well. And Wang reports that the result of the boron laser fusion reactor teaches us how important it is to develop the theory of high-temperature plasmas beyond the mainstream of the thermal equilibrium state towards the plasmas with mixed states. The related studies included the non-ideal plasmas for further interpretations. Another science expert, Mike Zarnstorff, the deputy director of Princeton Plasma Physics Laboratory in Princeton, New Jersey, says that fusion offers the prospect of thousands of years of energy supply without further issues but he says that the expense of it is an issue, which research for nuclear fusion is very expensive, so he does have a point there. My personal opinion is that this all looks very promising. We've been doing this nuclear fusion research in different experiments for over 50 years, and within the past century, we've had major breakthroughs with the tokamaks and then this new HB11 technology. And if the HB11 reactor works as it says it should, it would be majorly beneficial for our planet. So I told you about our past with nuclear fission, recent developments with nuclear fusion reactors, and what could result from these inventions. I informed you about nuclear fusion so you can understand how it may impact our future. The website for the HB11 states that it will create an unlimited source of clean, safe, and reliable energy using fuels that are abundant in nature, using a reaction that does not produce radioactive waste.